Okay, week 2, day 3, assisted lab 10, managing centralized authentication. So here's the scenario. Radius permits centralized authentication. In this activity, you will rely on Active Directory on DC1 as the authentication server. It will also act as the Radius server, the point where all authentication attempts get forwarded. The UTM-1 virtual machine running the pfSense security appliance will be configured as a Radius client. It will pass authentication attempts to DC1. In this scenario, Radius is being used to authenticate administrative users who manage the pfSense firewall appliance itself, rather than authentication of remote access VPN or wireless users. Radius can be used with VPN, wireless, and appliance authentication. In Windows Server, the Radius role is configured using Network Policy Server, NPS. Use NPS to configure the UTM-1 virtual machine as an authorized Radius client of DC1. So we are in the DC1 virtual machine. Control-Alt-Delete to get to the login. There's our username, password, and enter. All right, so Service Manager is going to open up probably. There we go. All right, so Tools and Network Policy Server. Where'd you go? There you are. So we're going to expand Radius clients and servers to select Radius clients. Radius client servers, Radius clients. Right-click Radius clients and select New. All right, the Radius client is the network appliance accepting the user's credentials, in this case, the UTM-1 virtual machine. In the new Radius client dialog box, in the friendly name, friendly name box here, we want to enter pfsense.corp.515support.com. There we go. In the address box, there, type in 10.1.0.254. There it goes. Under the shared secret, select the generate radio button. Then select the generate button. Okay. In the new Radius dialog box, copy the shared secret string. Alright, so I'm going to okay, and I'm going to control, there we go, and copy. Not all Radius clients support long secret. Did I get all of that? I don't think it got all of that. Come over here. There we go. Shift and go this way. Okay, well, make sure I got all of it. Now right click and copy. Okay. You need to keep this value on the clipboard for a while. You can paste it into a notepad file. Alright, well, let's do that. Well, let's just notepad. Let's open it. That's for the walls. I'm going to control V it. That's not what that was supposed to be. Alright. Alright, so here we go. I've got it all blue. So I control C. Let's try that. And then go back to notepad and control V. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay, let's come back here. Let's try it again. Control C for copy. And then Control V. Nope, it's not doing it. I'm not doing it. Oh my gosh. Delete. Okay. Copy. Paste. Still not doing it. What is going on with this? Okay. Let's see if I can do it this way. Nope. Well, this is giving me a headache. Still not letting me do it. Alright. At least we know we've got it. Alright. Okay. Next. Configure a policy that allows users in the local admin security group to authenticate with pfSense by using unencrypted authentication. Use the class attribute to transmit the local group property from the Radius server to the Radius client when a user authenticates. So in the network policy server console, that's where we're at, expand policies to select network policies. Okay. Right click network policies and new. Right, policy name. I'm going to use that. Alright. And then next. Select the Windows groups. Select next. On the specify, okay, here we go. Specify conditions page, select the add button. There we go. Now select Windows groups and select add. Select the add groups button and type in this one. Then type local admin and select check names. There we go. Select OK, and then select OK again, and then select next. On the specify access permission page, there we go. Leave access granted selected and select next. On the configure authentication methods page, leave the existing MS Chat version 2 and MS Chat boxes selected as shown on the screenshot. Alright. Yep, so we'll leave that and select next. Okay, we are not implementing it for this lab, but because the credential is being passed using weak MS Chat encryption, you must configure the management interface to use HTTPS encrypted connection security rather than plain HTTP. You would achieve this by installing a trusted root certificate to the pfSense appliance and disabling HTTP only access. Alright, on the configure constraints page, just select next. Okay. On the configure settings page, with standard selected, select the add button. In the Add Standards Radius Attribute dialog box, from the Attributes box, select Class, and then Add. Okay, now we're going to type local admin in the box and select OK. Then select Close. pfSense uses the class attribute to communicate group memberships. So that's what we did. Select Next, then Finish. Configure the pfSense virtual machine as a Radius client by inputting the Radius server details. This permits pfSense to forward authentication requests to DC1. So we're still in DC1. Okay. Open in the browser, it says. The browser. What browser do we have? There we go. What? Internet Explorer? Alright, Internet Explorer it is. Really? Okay. Let's do that. There we go. Log in with the credentials. Admin. And then down here, password. When prompted to save the password, select Not for the site. Maximize the browser window. Okay. And then select System, User Manager, and then select Authentication Servers. And select the Add button. In the descriptive box name, that's right there, 515 Support AD. From the Types list, pick Radius. Under Radius Server Settings, note that the protocol is set to MS CHAP version 2 by default. This is the authentication protocol that determines the format for the user credential. The Radius server and client must be able to match at least one authentication method. In the host name or IP address box, we're going to enter 10.1.0.1. Yes. In the shared secret box, paste the clipboard contents. All right. All right, it did it. Woohoo! You're pasting the shared secret generated on DC1 in an earlier task. That's what we did. All right, and then everything else is good. Go down here to save. Which of the following best describes the reason for the shared secret configured on DC1 and pfSense? To authenticate Bobby on pfSense, to authenticate pfSense to DC1, to authenticate DC1 to pfSense, or to authenticate Bobby on DC1. All right, so let's think about this. We took it from DC1 and we added it to pfSense, so it's to authenticate DC1. Nope, the other way around. The other way around. Authenticate pfSense to DC1. All right. The shared secret is the passphrase set on the Radius server, DC1, that must be configured on each Radius client, just pfSense in this example. This means that the server does not accept requests from unauthenticated Radius clients. Now, we're going to configure a basic least permissions role for the local group security group account so that users do not have access to advanced system configurations. So we're going to select the Groups tab and then select the Add button. Okay. In the group name box, we're here up here, type in local admin and then save. In the Actions column, there we go, select the Edit Group pen icon to edit the local admin group. Alright, we don't want to delete it, we just want to edit it. Under Assigned Privileges, select Add. No, we don't want that. Assigned Privileges, Add. The Shift click to select from Web Conferencing Dashboard all down to the last Web Conference status, up down status. So Web Conference all, Dashboard all. All right. We're going to shift click till we get to Web Conference status. Okay, Web Conference status, up MP status. Okay, keep going. System update. Oh, status. We went too far. I went too far. Status. There we go. So shift click, that selects everything in between. It's a very long list. Okay. Locate the Web Conference pfSense Wizard subsystem and Control plus click to deselect it. Okay, so you go up. LMNOP pfSense Wizard. Okay, so Control click and it just takes that one off. Deselect. Then save. Save button. All the way down, save. Select the Settings tab. Then from the Authentication server box, select 515 Support AD and save. From the upper right hand corner of the page, select the Logout button. Upper right hand corner of the page, Logout. Okay. Next, to test that pfSense is passing credentials to Active Directory, you will now log on to the pfSense device with a non-administrator account. The account is stored in Active Directory. This allows you to exercise the privileges granted in the previous task. So go back on, log back on with the credentials Bobby and password. Now when you log on, the UTM1 VM passes the credentials you have submitted to the Radius server for validation. Observe that you can configure most things but cannot adjust system settings to change the user accounts or root admin password. Ideally, you would create role-based groups with more fine-grained privileges for different tasks. Let's see with the dashboard, I'm not seeing any where that you would be able to get into the settings. Is Bobby's user account a member of the local admin group? I don't know. I would say no. Okay, because we got... I don't see anything now. Alright, probably not, because the local admin group has privileges, so I'm going to say no. Well, let's see here, Bobby's account. This group membership, the member of tab of the account properties. Okay. On DC1, you can open Active Directory users and computers and then browse to the user's container to find Bobby's account. His group memberships will be displayed. So let's take a look. Let's do that here. Okay, let's go to Active Directory. Okay. Active Directory users and computers. There it is. And then browse to the user's container. Okay, there's Bobby. Okay, account. These group memberships will be displayed in the Members of tab. Local admin, so is member as when we go and look, yes he is. Local admin, score. Yay. Next. Questions. Which of the following best describes where Bobby's user account is stored? Is it stored in the user database in pfSense, in the Active Directory database on DC1, as a local user account on DC1, or as a local user on MS1? Okay, yeah, he's in the Active Directory database. Which of the following best describes the purpose of the Radius client registration task in this activity? Right. To configure DC1 to accept authentication attempts sent through pfSense. To install the Radius client software on pfSense? No. To configure Bobby's user account in Active Directory? No. To install network policy and access services on DC1? No. To configure pfSense to accept authentication attempts sent through DC1? Okay. Now it's either the first one or the last one. Configure, no, we configured pfSense to accept authentication. Nope, it's the other way around. I've got mine upside down. To configure DC1 to accept authentication attempts sent through pfSense. That's the one. Alright. Here we go. Yes, I'm sure. Da, 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 da. 4 out of 4. Congratulations, you passed.